Story 1. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my bridesmaid wear her unalive mother's favorite color to my wedding? I, 31 female, was married to my amazing husband, 34 male, on Friday. The wedding went smoothly, apart from one guest's dress preference, who we'll call Anna. Anna's mother sadly passed away in January this year. Her mother was the light of her life, and ever since she passed, Anna has been understandably uptight and distant. I've helped Anna throughout her entire grieving time. We had been planning this wedding since December and decided we wanted an ocean-themed wedding. My family and I grew up on the seaside and have always been close to the ocean. I made it extremely clear to all my bridesmaids that they were to wear blue, a coral pink color, or pastel green. Everyone agreed and seemed to love my choices. Anna's mother always loved the color dark, vibrant purple. Ever since then, Anna would buy everything purple if there was a purple choice. Anna and I went for lunch a few weeks after the passing to catch up and support her. At lunch, Anna asked me if she could please wear a purple dress to my wedding. I'm not crazy about themes usually, but since this wedding was themed to support my family's tradition, and considering my maid of honor was already going to be wearing a gorgeous pastel blue dress with purple and gold accents, me and my husband, who I decided to call and discuss the idea with him, politely told her that we understand what she's going through, but we really want bridesmaids on theme. To this, she looked hurt and left lunch earlier than expected. I hardly heard from Anna until around 4 weeks after our lunch, despite my attempts at texting, phoning, and even knocking on her door, but she'd continued to shut me off. That was until she texted me, "What do you think of these dresses?" and displayed many different purple dresses and photos. I kindly reminded Anna that she wouldn't be wearing a purple dress to my wedding. Anna was enraged. I tried to tell her that I understand her feelings, but my wedding is my own special day. To this, she blocked me. Anna unblocked me 2 days later, apologizing for the way she acted. Well, when the wedding rolled around, Anna showed up in a purple dress. I asked her why she had gone against my wishes and that she either had to change or leave. To this, she told me to stop creating a scene and that I was being dramatic and disrespectful. Anna broke out in a screaming match and called me and my family insensitive, selfish mongrels. She was escorted out the door screaming. Once the wedding had ended, I received messages from Anna's family, friends, and even Anna. They were all saying how Anna was going through a lot and that I was being an a-hole. So am I the a-hole for not just letting Anna wear the damn purple dress? No. Plenty of opportunity to talk through this. This woman is grieving. Definitely. She has many other ways to fulfill this purple passion. And this is someone else's day. It's just no respect for anyone else on this. If you're still grieving like this and still having trouble processing your own emotions, then I think this person should have just told them to stay away originally and not be a part of this. Not the a-hole at all. Story 2. My appointment was canceled for being 5 minutes late? I guess I have to reschedule. This happened about 4 years ago when I got a summer job at my university. The job was working for professors that I had worked with before, and they asked me last minute to teach a summer workshop to 9th and 10th graders. So with less than 2 weeks before the camp starts, I have a bunch of paperwork to do first, including clearances that say I can work with kids. One of these is an official FBI check for which they need my fingerprints. Well, I needed to do the physical fingerprinting right away in order to get the results in time. Luckily, I was able to book a fingerprinting appointment for that Friday. Booked 24 hours in advance as required, which would be just barely enough time to get the result. That Friday, I caught the subway to campus, and it's atrociously slow. I'll admit I should have planned this. The subway here is always behind. Anyway, I end up slightly late getting to campus, so I literally run to the police station and enter the room at exactly 5 minutes after my appointment time. I know this because as I stepped through the door, I felt my phone buzz with what turned out to be a "Your appointment has been canceled" email. I speak to the security cop behind bulletproof glass inside, and I learn the appointment was canceled after he checks my confirmation number. Apparently, they're automatically canceled if you're not checked in within 5 minutes. Obviously, this is outrageous, but I'm usually a patient guy. I ask if I can book a new appointment. This is no good since it would have to be Monday or later. So I grab a coffee from across the street and return to sit inside the police station to try and solve this with some Googling while I sip into a more and more frantic state of frustration. I can't find anywhere in the city that can fingerprint me before Monday. But here's what really pushed me over the edge. While I'm sitting there, at this point, 30 minutes past my appointment time, someone else comes in for fingerprints. She shows up 5 minutes early. They take her in immediately, and she's out before her appointment was even scheduled to begin. The entire thing took her about 2 minutes. I pointed out to the cop behind the glass, as politely as I can, that clearly someone could see me right now because her appointment is already over. Why can't I have the current slot? But the cop insists that since my appointment was canceled, my registration info was no longer in the system, and I can't be seen today. That's when the idea comes to me, and I confirm with him that showing up early is not a problem, because they would have my appointment and registration info in the system. You see where I'm going with this? So I quietly sit back and take out my phone. About 10 minutes later, I calmly approach him again and say, "Hello, I have a new appointment to be fingerprinted. I'm about 72 hours early. I have never seen such an exacerbated sigh in my life." But he checked my new confirmation number and everything was in order. Within 10 minutes, I was walking back out after getting fingerprinted. Too long didn't read. Appointment was automatically canceled because I was 5 minutes late. I can't go in now because my registration info is not in the system, but I can make an appointment for Monday and show up 72 hours early. Perfect! Great way to deal with it. I would say it is this person's fault. They should have planned ahead. I know people are running behind, and it kind of felt like it was on him. But that was an awesome way to deal with it. Way to think things through and be a problem solver. That's really great. Story 3. My brother slept with and ran off with my ex and now wants an invite to my wedding, getting my parents uninvited in the process. I, 24 male, wasn't even going to make a post about this, but my brother, who I'll call Turk, 25 male, made 4 posts about it. So I thought I should share my side of the story. I'll use the same names he did for the sake of simplicity. My fiancée is Maria, 24 female, and my ex is Jen, 24 female. A little over 5 years ago, my brother started dating Maria, my now fiancée. 3 months after they started dating, they set me up with her now ex-best friend, Jen. The 4 of us did a lot together since the girls were best friends. Turk and Maria dated for a year, and Jen and I dated for 9 months. At the end of our relationship, I came home early and found Turk and Jen having spicy time in my bed. After I processed the situation, I called Maria because I'd want to know if I was in her place. She came over, and we confronted Turk and Jen. They dumped us, and I found out 2 days later, started dating each other. It broke me. I came home to find my brother fracking my girlfriend only to run off with her. I had to move back in with my parents. It was infuriating because they kept talking about how happy Turk and Jen were. Throughout the next couple of months, Maria and I started talking. We were 2 people in similar smeggy situations, and we found some comfort in each other. 4 months after we got dumped, Maria and I officially started dating. 6 months after we got dumped, Turk found out that Jen was cheating on him and she left him for the other guy. I actually only found this out today from reading Turk's post. Maria would get the occasional message from Turk trying to reconnect, but she ignored him. Anyway, moving on to now. Maria and I are engaged and getting married in September. My parents were invited until my mom called me and threatened to not come if I didn't invite Turk. I told her not bother coming, regardless. In my mother's eyes, Turk can do no wrong. When he smashed and started dating my ex, I told my parents everything he did, and my mom tried defending him. Our relationship isn't the greatest, but it was somewhat decent. After I uninvited my parents, I only uninvited my mom, but my dad texted me and said he's not coming if my mom isn't. Turk blew up my phone trying to get a hold of me. This is the first time he's even tried reaching out to me in 4 years. Like I said before, Turk posted about this situation here online, as well as apparently my parents told him that Maria and I were getting married, and that started this whole thing of them getting uninvited. He's stopped calling me, but he's blowing up my phone with texts begging me to reinvite my parents and possibly give him an invite. So yeah, I just wanted to get my side out there. No, your wedding, your rules. Seems like you've been really calm about this whole thing. I can imagine if you didn't want somebody there, if you're still kind of holding that grudge. But the way they're all talking like they are owed an invite to the wedding, it just feels very entitled. And like you said, if you didn't have the best relationship, maybe you're just better off not having them show up at all. You don't need that energy on that day. It's your day.
Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day.
Story 4. You don't want a woman working on your car? That's fine, but you're going to be waiting a long time. Many years ago, I worked at a car dealership. The attached service garage was small, and I was the only licensed mechanic. I would occasionally have issues with male customers. They would second-guess my diagnoses, watch me while I worked on their cars from the bay door, double-checking my work in the parking lot, etc. I didn't deal with customers directly and would often get my apprentice to pull cars in and out of the shop for me. This morning in particular, we were busy. The lot jockey and apprentice were occupied helping wash cars for delivery and driving to a customer's house. The service advisor left a work order and keys at the parts counter, and I went out to the front through the service to get the car. It was in for a service campaign, which was an update done with a scan tool. Takes about 10 minutes. The customer was planning on waiting and was sitting in service. When he saw me with his keys in my hand, he immediately stood up, alarmed. I was hustling, so I walked right by him and out the door. I missed the following conversation, according to the service advisor, also female. Customer: "Who is that chick? Is she going to be working on my car? I don't want her working on my car." Advisor: "The other tech is out at the moment, so it's going to be quite a wait until someone else can look at your car." Customer: "That's fine. I'll wait for a guy. I don't want that chick touching my car." A: politely: "Understood." The advisor comes to let me know, and I pull the car out and put the work order and keys back on the counter, nonplussed. Half an hour passes. The apprentice is still away, and I'm happily working on something else, bringing other cars in and out. The customer is now watching each and every person who comes through the door. The high school co-op student comes in to get something signed. The customer's keys are still sitting on the desk. It's been about an hour now. Customer: "Hey, why hasn't my car gone in yet? Can't you get this guy to do it?" Advisor: "No, sorry. He's just a co-op student, so he's not allowed to drive the cars due to liability and insurance concerns." Customer: "Just get someone else to bring the car in, and he can do the work. That was supposed to take 10 minutes. Advisor: "Sorry, sir. He's just a high school student doing his co-op. He's not approved to perform warranty work. Only licensed techs and apprentices can do the recall." The car jockey returns. The advisor hands the car jockey a different set of keys, and he brings yet another car into the shop for me. The customer is becoming incensed. Customer: "I've been sitting here for over an hour and watched 5 cars go in before mine. My appointment was for 8 a.m. This is getting ridiculous, blah, blah, blah." At this point, he says that he literally doesn't care who does the recall, but that it has to be a guy. The service advisor starts listing off the names of the men who work in the dealership, then saying why they can't perform the recall. Well, there's Herman, but he's just the car jockey. He doesn't know how to work on cars. Then there's Jeet, but he's about 17. I wouldn't want him doing the recall personally. I guess we could ask Mike, but Mike is the parts guy. He doesn't know how to use the scan tool. The detailers are men, but they know nothing about cars. The customer is fuming at this point and demands to talk to the service manager. The manager comes out of his office and guides the customer into the garage. He's pretty old school, lights up a cigarette standing at the end of my bay, and points at me. "That's My best technician. Those guys take orders from her. You can either wait for her to finish what she's working on, and then you can ask her if she's still willing to do your work, or you can take your car somewhere else. The guy was pretty shook up at this point, and he took his car and left. 2 hours after he first arrived. I don't think we ever saw him again, which was not much of a loss, all things considered. That manager in particular always stuck up for me and took my side. The service advisor had this very deadpan sense of humor. She knew full well it would easily be an hour before the apprentice would return from his errand, and that no one else could do the recall. This was not the first sexist we had encountered. And completely not the a-hole. This customer was it. Who says a woman can't work on a car? And this person had people vouching for them too. Just get in and get your appointment done. Just wow. Really. In this day and age, wow, we've got this kind of an attitude.
Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.